Next up, I watched Blood, Guts, Bullets, and Octane. Nice little low-budget actioner. The reason I wanted to see this is because it's the feature-length directorial debut of Joe Carnahan, who directed NARC, which is one of my all-time favorite cop movies. I think it's just a brilliant film. So I was really curious about his beginnings. Now, I kind of knew what to expect going in. I knew that this was going to be a low-budget actioner, and not to expect the spit and polish of NARC, because NARC is a very good-looking film for sure. It really has a. Here, I'll put this up here. We'll just try to display them as we go. It really has a nice, gritty look to it. Now, Blood, Guts, Bullets, and Octane is one of those action movies that was done for an incredibly low budget. I think it was about $5,000 they spent on this, or 15 or something. I don't know, like not very much. And they didn't spend much on actors either, because it's very obvious that pretty much everyone in this movie has little to no acting experience. In fact, Joe Carnahan himself plays one of the lead characters, because I guess he didn't want to, risk having someone else in that part and screw it up. And in the extras for Smokin Aces, which he also wrote and directed, he talks a little bit about this and says how normally the way he likes to direct is in long master shots and just kind of let the actors play with the scene and whatnot. In Blood, Guts, and he doesn't like to do fast cuts. In Blood, Guts, Bullets, and Octane, he said it's all fast cuts because we were trying to hide how much we sucked. Now, as for the movie itself, it's a classic MacGuffin story. Basically, a pair of used car salesmen are facing bankruptcy. Their business is failing. They're just getting trounced by the competition in town. Other used car lots and whatnot, they're just doing way better than them. So they get an opportunity to sit on, to have this car parked in their lot. And all they got to do is leave the car in their lot for, I think, 3 days. 2 days, sorry, 2 days. Just leave the car in the lot for 2 days, no questions asked, and they will get $250,000, no strings attached. Done. Needless to say, it does not go that smoothly. And, there's something up with that car. There's something fishy with that car. And that's one of the big mysteries of the movie, obviously, and I'm not going to spoil it for you. But the feel of it is kind of like low-budget Tarantino. It's like Tarantino light. There's a lot of snappy dialogue, a lot of banter back and forth and such. Honestly, I think some of it goes on a little too long. It could have been tightened up a bit. But overall, I enjoyed it for what it is. I mean, it's definitely better than your average low-budget actioner, but it's not the best out there. But if you're looking for something light and fun and low-budget and gritty with some cheesy acting and a pretty decent plot, I actually really enjoyed the twist at the end. It's like when you actually find out what the deal is with the car. That's one thing about Joe Carnahan I've noticed, is a lot of his movies have MacGuffins. Now, a MacGuffin is, think of a MacGuffin, it's a Alfred Hitchcock term, basically. A MacGuffin is like just something that exists solely to drive the plot forward. It is a plot device that exists solely for the purpose of being a plot device. And in this case, the car would be the MacGuffin. But the thing with a MacGuffin is, it doesn't need to be explained. The MacGuffin itself is not what is important in the film. Like, for example, if it's a briefcase that needs to get from point A to point B, it doesn't matter what's in it. All that matters is it's important, and these people are trying to kill these people to get it, and get whatever's in it, Like the briefcase in Pulp Fiction is a perfect example of a MacGuffin. Or the briefcase in Ronin, the Robert De Niro movie, great movie by the way, is another classic example of a MacGuffin. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what's in the fucking briefcase. That's not the point. The point is the chase. The point is the characters and seeing what people are willing to do to get it. So the reason I mention this is because I've seen a few of Joe Carnahan's films. Well, actually almost all of them now, I guess, all his features. And he did a short film for BMW. It was part of the web series called The Hire. And he did an episode called Ticker. It's a really good episode. But again, it had a MacGuffin in it. It was the classic MacGuffin of the mysterious briefcase that people will do anything to get. And again, he explained it. You find out what's in the briefcase by the end of the movie. And honestly, I think explaining the MacGuffin kind of spoils it. It kind of ruins the mystery. I mean, I think it makes it more interesting when you don't know. Like in Pulp Fiction, we never found out what was in that briefcase. Did we mind that we never found out? Did we care that we never found out? No, because the rest of the movie was just so awesome, it didn't matter. So, yeah. Anyway, in this case, honestly, I think the explanation for the MacGuffin is pretty cool, and it's actually a pretty unique explanation. It's definitely not what you would expect it to be, and it's good. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that a lot, actually, and I will definitely watch that movie again. Now, continuing on with my Joe Carnahan fest, I finally watched Smokin Aces, which my good buddy fucking A sent me. You may be saying, but Sean, it's on HD DVD. Well, it's actually an HD DVD combo disc, so on the other side is the DVD version, so I was able to watch that. And again, I know a lot of people didn't like this one, but I enjoyed it for what it was. I mean, it was a fun, cheesy, fast-paced, sort of action, tongue-in-cheek action comedy. Again, kind of feeling like Tarantino light. I guess that's just Joe Carnahan's style. And had a great cast. And, you know, Lost fans I know are quite amused by this one because there's a great scene where Nestor Carbonell kills Matthew Fox. And they're both major characters on Lost. And I think when this came out, it would have been around the time they were just starting Lost. Oh no, it was 2007. It would have been a couple of years into Lost by then. Yeah, so it was kind of funny seeing them in a scene together. I think before they ever did a scene together in the show. So, and then it turns into a murder. One kills the other. But anyway, no, I really enjoyed this one a lot, like a lot more than I expected to, given all the bad reviews I heard of it. Now, of course, people are saying that this is really good, and the direct-to-video sequel that just came out sucks because Joe Carnahan had very little to do with it, and almost none of the original cast is in it, and it's only peripherally related to the first one. But this one I enjoyed. I mean, it's a fun, silly actioner. Not a lot of thinking involved, and the last half of it is just total chaos, and it's hilarious. It's violent as hell. It's one of those types of movies that has like really over the top violence to the point where it becomes ludicrous and you start laughing. It's one of those types of things. You know what I mean. Like, there's been a lot of movies like that. Like, for example, the first RoboCop was like that. The violence was very satirical and almost self-parodying because it was so over the top. Well, Smokin Aces is very much like that as well. It has a lot of really over-the-top, cartoonish violence like that. And it's a lot of fun. It's basically about this guy who's he's a Las Vegas performer who gets a taste of the mob life and decides he wants to become a kingpin himself, and just kind of gets mixed in with the wrong people. And so the main part of the story is there's been a contract put on his life, and it actually follows the various hitmen that are trying to cash in on the contract. And, well, they kind of get in each other's way because they've all got their own way of doing things, and hilarity and chaos and bloodshed ensues. So, yeah, Smokin Aces is a lot of fun, but probably not for the faint of heart who can't stand a little, 50 gallons worth of bloodshed every 5 minutes. How are we for time? Let's just check here. Yeah, I think we're gonna split this into 2 parts. So, that's it for part 1. Not bad. We covered 3 movies in 15 minutes. I think that's a new record for me. Yeah, so I'll see you in part 2. Until then, thanks for watching, and sayonara.